Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's vlog is all about the challenges that I'm taking on this August, and although this will be going out obviously after August has started, it is never too late to take on these challenges, and I thought I'd give you a little overview as to what I'm doing so that the vlogs that I do for the rest of this month make a little bit more sense, so you know why I'm doing the crazy amount of running that I am doing. I've taken on 2 challenges this August, and having taken it kind of easy for the rest of lockdown after my half marathon time trial and 10k time trial, I think it's about time to pick up the pace a little bit and do something a little bit more intense. Challenges are something that I love to do, but at the same time I think it's important to mention that I don't do them all the time, and I don't always push myself to sort of my physical limits, because I think you kind of need off seasons as well as times that you really go for it, and that's both for your mental health but also your physical health as well, because pushing yourself can be extremely tiring for the body. While it may feel absolutely fine at the time, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to recover afterwards. I have taken it, like I say, quite easy for most of lockdown. Just been enjoying my runs, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the relatively empty trails and the amount of free time that I've had as well, and I think there's definitely something to be said for that. As we move into sort of later summertime and away from lockdown, I figured actually I wanted something to focus my mind a little bit more and focus my training, and challenges are where it's at. So I heard about these challenges through a couple of friends of mine. I'm doing one challenge with Ultra X and the other challenge with UTMB. These challenges are open to everyone, which is why I'm telling you about them, because I am hoping to encourage some of you to sign up as well, because I could do with all the support that I can get, and I do think that there's something to be said for doing challenges with friends or even just people on the internet, and just having those people to support you virtually or in reality. Either way, I think it's good to have people around you who know what you're doing and are supporting it as well. Plus, that little bit of a competition aspect often helps. I mean, it certainly helps me. I'm incredibly competitive myself, so yeah, it's nice to have other people that you know are doing the same things as you. So I'm going to explain the challenges a little bit, and then also point out where you can find challenges either for this month or, you know, long into the future. I'm sure there'll be loads more of these things going on, because just because we can't see each other and just because the normal races aren't going on, it doesn't mean that you can't have that kind of community feel and really push your body as well and show yourself improving through the use of virtual challenges and virtual races. And I honestly think that since lockdown, these things will start to become a lot more popular as well. And in terms of the environmental aspects, which both of these challenges are pretty hot on, not having to travel to races, not having to, you know, buy loads of disposable food and equipment and buy your plane ticket and all that kind of stuff, not having to do all of that is obviously much better for the environment. So I feel like these sorts of challenges will become a lot more popular as we move on, and this is kind of like the trial period for all of them. And I mean, I know that both Ultra X and UTMB have been incredibly popular over lockdown because they have amazing communities. So without further ado, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about the challenges. I will post all the links in the description box below as well, so that you can find them as and when you want to. So the first challenge I'm doing is the Ultra X Month of Miles. They did one of these earlier in the year, towards the beginning of lockdown, and they had over 1,000 people sign up. Ultra X it's not a huge company per se, but they have some of the best challenges out there. They were the ones who co-hosted my Azores Ultra Marathon. They also do the Wadi Rum Ultra, which is previously Wadi Rum, I think it's now Ultra X Jordan. Kind of slightly confused about the naming system, but basically it's an ultra marathon in Jordan in the desert, and it looks incredible. And they host a whole load of other ones around the world throughout the year as well, anywhere from 125 kilometers to I think 280, but don't quote me on that. They've got loads of different ones for people, and the point is that everyone can do them and that they really assist you along the way as well. And I can say that, having experienced the Azores one, it's amazingly organized and everyone is friendly and everyone is really lovely, and I do genuinely believe that everyone can do it with a little bit of training. Back to my challenge. They have 3 different challenges on in August, and you can sign up right until the 15th of August and backdate your miles. So if you're only watching this vlog towards the middle of August, but you've already done some miles at the beginning, you can still sign up, link it to your Strava, and then it will count your miles that you've done from the beginning of August up to that point as well. So don't worry if you feel like you're not going to be able to do it all in the latter half of August. You can still sign up and it will backdate your miles. So the 3 challenges are 125 kilometers, 250 kilometers, and 500 kilometers. And what you have to do is complete those between the 1st of August and the 31st of August. And I am taking on the 125 kilometer month of miles for a number of reasons. So my average monthly mileage is about, I think it's about 110 kilometers, or it was 110 kilometers last month, something like that. I can't quite figure it out because sometimes my GPS is a little bit off. So it's a little bit of an increase on that. I know for a fact that I would be able to do the 250 kilometer one, but that if I was to do that, I would have to take out quite considerable amount of time afterwards. So I decided that rather than doing this as a kind of end point to my training and then a challenge and then take time off afterwards, I would use this as part of my training and just a way to encourage myself to get out and get running a little bit more frequently than I have been. As I mentioned in my last vlog, the way that I'm planning on doing this is to do 4 runs a week rather than 3 runs a week. The alternative, of course, is doing 3 runs a week but making all of those runs longer. I think for my own physical health, I think it's actually probably better to be going out more frequently but doing kind of a similar length of run. So the average number of kilometers that I need to do per week is about 30, and that will take me to 120 kilometers in 4 weeks. And then because it's more than just 4 weeks in a month, I should be able to get in the extra 5 kilometers in the following days. That's not a massive increase on what I've been doing recently, but my next challenge makes that a little bit more difficult, and I will tell you about that in a second. It is £15 to sign up for this challenge, and as part of that you can get a medal as well, and it also gives you access to a dashboard where you can kind of see how you're doing, see how you're progressing day in, day out, and also compare that to how other people are doing. There's kind of a very fun graph of people's cumulative distance, and mine is extremely average at the moment because I've only run twice this month so far. At the time that this vlog comes out, I hope I will have run more than that because otherwise I'll be a long way behind everyone else. But yeah, you get like centralized dashboard where you can see how everyone else is doing, see your elevation, see your total mileage and how that compares to other people, as well as like the percentage of the total number of miles completed, etc, etc. So it's quite a neat way of doing the challenge, and you get a little bit of support through that as well. If you don't want to get a medal, you can choose to donate the money that would have gone to the medal to Mossy Earth, which is a reforestation organisation which are reforesting parts of Romania's Carpathian Mountains, and these have been depleted massively through illegal logging. I obviously love the environmental aspect of this, so that's what I did. I don't feel like I deserve a medal for kind of doing my usual training. If it was a race, I love medals. I love medals for that kind of thing, but I've chosen to donate mine to Mossy Earth, and that should help the local wildlife that they have around there as well. They've got bears, they've got lynxes, they've got wolves, they've got the whole shebang, and the whole forest is being harmed at the moment. And obviously with lockdown there's been a lot less focus on preventing those sorts of things. So I think it's a really good idea that they have that option to not get the medal but to donate instead. And so that's what I've done, and you can choose to do that as well once you've signed up. The registration for that one shuts on the 15th of August, but you can obviously backdate your miles. So I would recommend, if you're watching this when it goes out, to sign up to that ASAP, and then you can choose whichever one you want. They're all £15 regardless of whether you're doing 125 kilometers or 500. Obviously if you don't finish it, that's still fine. Like, you've still done an amazing job. It's just I feel like it's just a really good way of holding yourself accountable for the month, getting a little bit of support while you're at it. But yeah, sign up as soon as possible and link it up to your Strava, and then you can backdate your miles on that. If you don't fancy signing up, if you just kind of want to do it, if you go onto Strava you can join the Ultra X Run Club, or just follow some other people who are doing the challenge and just do it yourself. Like, you don't necessarily need the dashboard, you don't necessarily need all the official stuff that goes with it. I just think it helps a little bit with motivation and holding yourself accountable, because once you've signed up, once you've paid that little bit of money, you feel more obliged to kind of do that. So yeah, that is my Ultra X challenge. And then on top of that, I've also taken on a UTMB challenge, and they have a whole load of challenges, so there is honestly something for everyone in there. UTMB stands for Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc, which is a trail race, or a bunch of races I think, that goes on, and they were supposed to have one at the end of August, the last week of August I think it was, and of course because of COVID it won't be going ahead. I feel like race organisers have really struggled this year. In fact, I don't feel like that, they definitely have struggled. A huge amount of effort goes into putting on these races. Things are organised years in advance, and it must be incredibly difficult for the people whose livelihoods rely on this. I mean, alongside everyone else who's had their jobs taken away from them or changed massively or whatever it is. So I feel like these virtual challenges are a great way of being able to support these organisations, and hopefully they'll be able to continue putting on races long into the future. The UTMB challenge is called UTMB for the Planet. Like the other one, it has a kind of environmental conservation aspect as well. This one is free to sign up to, but there is a nominal contribution to WWF France. I support WWF UK. Obviously the whole organisation does lots of good things around the world, and they've raised a huge amount of money already. So I mean, it's amazing to see the community get in there and raise so much money for such a great cause as well. So the challenges that are on their website you can do over the space of a month or over the space of 2 weeks or all in one run. It varies. They have so many different ones available that you can just choose one that's right for you. I think these ones are a little bit harder because they stipulate elevation as well as distance, which is why I'm doing these ones, because obviously the Ultra X one is purely based on distance, although they do have a leaderboard for elevation, and I'm like 5th on there at the moment. I mean, it's only day 5, but I'm still 5th on there, so I'm feeling very proud of that, because there is no such thing as a non-elevation run around here. This one stipulates particular elevations per run. If you can't make those elevations, they have a different distance. So from what I understand, for example, the one that I'm doing, you can either do 100 kilometers over the month with 4,500 meters of elevation, or you can do 145 kilometers of flat running basically. So if you don't have any elevation near you, you can just do the same amount of effort, but the distances are obviously different because running up hills is harder than running on the flat. And I think that's a really good way of doing it, because it allows for everyone to do something that is in their local area rather than having to try and find a hill and just like running up and down it for 40 kilometers or whatever. Check out their website. They've got a bunch going on from the 20th of July to the 30th of August, and obviously those are just slightly longer than a month, and you can choose different distances in those. Or they have sections of what would have been the UTMB race that you can do all in one run or over the space of a week or whatever it is. Those are particular distances with particular elevations. So they've got challenges that take on, like, for example, the 3 most difficult climbs of the race, and then you do them all in one run, or you do them over 3 runs, and you can kind of just decide whatever works for you. And it's a lot of elevation. I mean, some of the biggest ones are like 10,000 meters of elevation over the month. And to give you a bit of perspective, I did 3,000 meters of elevation, just over 3,000 meters of elevation last month, and that was tough. So doing 10,000 in a month is kind of insane to me, but obviously some people can do that. So anyone who signs up for the actual UTMB race has that to look forward to as well. So this is kind of like a little taster session of what that is actually like. What I am doing for UTMB for the Planet is their 100 kilometer month, and that has 4,500 meters of elevation gain over that month, or 145 kilometers on the flat. So I will probably be somewhere in between 100 and 145. Obviously my goal for Ultra X is 125, and I'm not sure I'm going to hit 4,500 meters of elevation gain, but I'm going to do as well as I can. And I just, you know, it's tempting when you're doing a lot of running to go for the flattest routes possible, but this will encourage me to actually do some quite difficult routes that have a lot of elevation in. Our typical long run has about 350 to 450 meters of elevation gain, I think. So provided I do enough long runs, we should be able to get there. But that's the goal for that one. And of course there is that donation to WWF, so it's for a really good cause, but it's also free. There's also a whole load of incentive there, like you don't have to pay anything to sign up, but also there's the incentive of prizes. All of the different challenges, or a lot of the different challenges, have possibility of winning a prize. So yeah, go and check out their website. I will obviously link it below, and you can see if there's anything on there that's right for you as well. As with the Ultra X one, when you sign up to the UTMB for the Planet, you get a dashboard where it downloads your miles. It connects to Sunto, Garmin, and you can upload your GPX files as well, and Polar, I think, as well. So if you have any of those watches, you can link it automatically. Otherwise, you have to upload your GPX files manually, which is slightly annoying, but I guess you don't have to do that, and you can just do it all on Strava and just calculate your elevation gain and your kilometers per month manually through that. But either way, you get a dashboard, you can see how well you're doing and compare that to other people as well. And like with the other one, it's just a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of motivation to get out there and go on your run. So yeah, those are the 2 challenges I'm doing. A quick note on finding challenges. I find knowing running communities, you learn about challenges simply through people just talking about which ones they're going to do. And the great great thing is organisation tends to put on multiple challenges throughout the year and multiple races. So if you follow an organisation like Ultra X or like UTMB or like Maverick races or whatever it is, or Tribe, you know, there are loads and loads of challenges on and loads of races on, and if you follow them on social media, for example, you're likely to be the first to know about the sorts of things that they have coming up, and chances are if you miss out on this one, there'll be other ones in the future as well, so just keep an eye out for those. Following people on Strava is a good way to find out about challenges as well. People love to talk about them. I mean, look at me talking about this. So if you just follow, you know, other runners, people that inspire you, people that you think you kind of want to do something a little bit similar to what they're doing, just follow them on Strava or on social media, and they tend to talk about the challenges that they're going to do. And then once you've found a particular challenge that you feel is achievable for yourself, you can sign up for them in the future, and chances are they'll do a lot of different challenges and there'll be something right for you at some particular point. So it can be difficult to find challenges at the beginning or races at the beginning, but once you know the particular organisations that put them on, it's kind of impossible to avoid them, to be honest, so they will come your way whether you like it or not. I am only doing 125 kilometres only, I mean it's a long way, because I want to save my knees, and I feel like it would be irresponsible of me to encourage doing 100% more mileage per month than I'm used to. As my coach says, and as I've said many times on here, it's only recommended that you increase your mileage per week by 10%. So over the month, obviously that's another 10%, so overall. And I don't want to do more than that because I don't want to risk my injury coming back, because I feel like that would be stupid since this isn't an actual race. This is just part of my everyday training, and it can be tempting at times to kind of let the ego get in the way a little bit and push yourself harder than is potentially necessary and recommended. But I'm just trying to do something that is achievable for me, but a little bit of a push as well. I don't want it to be something that means I'm going to get injured, or something that actually just takes away the enjoyment of running. That's not why I run. I think there are times to push through pain and times to push yourself beyond what you feel comfortable with. You know, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone is amazing, like it's a great thing to do, but it's not necessarily something that you want to do on the regular. And I think for a month-long challenge, it's important that you do something that is achievable for you. That's kind of my note on that. I think everyone can do a challenge, but just make sure that it's the right one for you and that you're not taking on something that has the risk of meaning that you actually just hate running at the end of it. That is all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you do also take on one or two of the challenges, even if you just do it privately. You don't have to share it with anyone, you don't have to officially sign up, but just something that pushes you a little bit and that you can kind of make some friends doing as well is, I think, a really great idea. If you are doing a challenge, please do comment down below, because I'd love to support you and I'd love to know the sorts of things that you're taking on as well. Let me know if you do sign up for either of these after this video, because I want to see everyone on the dashboards and I really want to see how everyone's doing as well, and it will keep me motivated for sure, so I hope it motivates you as well. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks to this challenge, I will be doing a lot more running content, so if you want to see anything or want to know more about my training or anything, just comment down below and ask any questions and I'll try and answer them either to you directly or in one of these vlogs. I think that is it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!